had weapons of mass destruction.
Right,
he
right,
didn't have any weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
Because he didn't have any, all his stuff was boycotted, but all his stuff was acquisition. But he couldn't have had any weapons of mass destruction.
That's it. And you know it too, and I'm glad you brought that point on, because that's exactly what they're doing in the Syrian situation. So before you attack the enemy that you're against, what do you have to do? Manipulate the minds of the people, lie to the people, and say, look, we gotta go down there because he's got such and such weapons of mass destruction. They're doing the same thing now. What they're saying is the chemical weapons are out there in Syria, and they're sarin gassing it on people. So that's where Trump comes in, and Trump made a speech about that. All right, so that's just to go in there, strike Syria, and get this war going. That's what they want to do. Like what my man said, he said they said they had weapons of mass destruction, but throughout the year later down the line, they found out that wasn't the facts. That was a damn lie. All right, Bush and Blair and them, man, they had the now they looking stupid now. Okay, go on.
So this is Revelations 9 verse 12.
Yeah.
One woe is past.
That's World War I.
And behold, there come two woes more thereafter.
So it was prophesied you're going to have two more world wars. That happened. World War I occurred, World War II occurred, and World War III is now in occurrence today. And we're in World War III today. And do you know this too? World War I, it's like not World War I. World War III started in 1991. You understand? Which that's going to be a topic for another day. But that's just the thing.
Knowledge.
So we've been in World War III, what is it, for 26 years now? Now it's just intensifying. And now it's going to get to the point where everybody's going to get blown the hell up by these missiles. And that's going to be the stage of the game. All right? And this all goes back to Bible prophecy. Go on.
That's it. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel, which had a trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
Right, so there's four angels that are bounded in the great river Euphrates. That's actually a better scripture, brother. That are bounded in the river great Euphrates. That's why the Lord dried up the land of Euphrates. River. Excuse me. Right? Why? So that the kings of the east might be prepared. So in order for them to fight, the Lord is making it easier for them to start warring against one another. Okay? Go on. So when people say the Bible is just 2,000 years old and it's an old book, it doesn't apply today. Oh, damn sure it does apply today. Okay? And we are living in Bible times too. All right? Bible times be done. We're living in Bible times, baby. Go on.
And the four angels were loosed, which are prepared for an hour and a day.
Right, so the angels of God are preparing this war by the angels. The angels are in charge of what happens. Now, I'm gonna hit you with something, bro. I was watching the footage about, I believe it was World War II. Okay, and what you had these bright lights not fighting amongst, but they were amongst the dog fighters. Because they were fighting this war, so you had these bright lights coming in this. And that was the angels of the Lord, okay? That was orchestrating that whole thing. All right, go on.
That's it.
So it's the same thing like now. I don't cut you. It's the same thing like now. The angels of God are orchestrating this war. Go on.
We should prepare for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men.
Right, to slay the third part of men. So there's a particular month and a day in a year where this thing is going to begin. Now we don't know that, because the Bible tells us that no man knows the hour when the Son of Man cometh. Jesus, who the world called Jesus Christ. You understand? So we don't know, but there's a particular year, month, and day when this is going to erupt. So go on.
That's it. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000.
Right, and that's not actually talking about men. That's talking about missiles. Because see, John the Revelator, when he saw the visions, he didn't understand what he was seeing. Okay, but they all went their way. Those missiles, they all went their way, and everything went kapoof. All right, go on.
And I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire.
Now that's going into the military now, because he said he saw horses. That's your tanks and all of your military personnel.
Knowledge.
See, that's how you go into it. Go on.
And of jacinth and brimstone. and the heads of the horses was the heads of lions.
Right, and the heads of horses, which are the missiles. Because see, what is a lion? A lion devours everything in its path, right? So when those missiles hit ground zero, hey, that's where the devour is going to occur. That's when you're going to have mass death, which the elites want. And guess what? The plans of the elite, I mean, it's going to go accordingly, but only by prophecy. Once these elites have overseeded their plans, guess what? The Lord is going to upset their whole entire setup, and they're going to write the slavery under us. That's when the slavery of Esau is going to start right there. So everything's going in our favor and our plot. Go on. See, if you want to know the truth and what's really going on, you have to know this Bible, man. If you want to know the truth on all things, you got to know this Bible. When people say, "Oh, there's no such thing as truth," they say that because they're just a bunch of fools. Okay, and I can understand why they say that too, because you have nothing but lies polluting over the truth in the society. So it makes it a lot more harder for you to find the truth. But there is a true way, and the true way is the Bible, baby. Go on.
And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. And by these three was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths.
Which are those missiles? Because what you had in Sodom and Gomorrah, you had actual brimstones. You had those brimstones that came down and polluted the city. Okay, but guess what? What's going to be interchangeable with those brimstones or those missiles? So just like how Sodom was destroyed, guess what? America's going to be destroyed in like manner. Okay, go on.
For their power is in their mouth.
Right, for their power is in their mouth. That's the warhead.
And in their tails.
Okay.
For their tails were like unto serpents. And were like unto serpents.
Right, so he saw them flying like this, moving around and, you know, maneuvering and shit like that. That's what he saw. That's why he said it was like unto serpents. In other words, like a snake. He thought it was a snake or something like that. Go on.
And had heads, and with them they do hurt.
Right, and with them they do hurt. Now this is going into World War II. Okay, because what you have to understand is that basically, well, really that's all about the dog fighters. Because what you had was you had one guy propelling from behind the back, right? And you had one guy that was flying it from the front. Okay, and this is what was going on right here. So World War II is actually in prophecy. Okay, and also World War III. So what we're gonna do, brother, I'll tell you what, brother, we go back to that one verse again when you started off at. You know where it goes into the Euphrates River.
Right, verse 14. Saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
Right, and I want to show you, brother, something. Because according to Revelations, what is it, 16?
Yeah, the one I'm reading is verse 9, verse 15.
Okay, no, I'm just speaking myself. Right, now there's an image of showing you that Euphrates River has been dried up. Alright, I'm going to show you guys this right now. So when I was doing the sit down, I found this image. The Spirit told me to go, you know, look up to see if this is a fact. And Euphrates River is actually dried up. Check this out. Turn this up. Check this out. That's how it looked back in, I believe, 2014, but it's worse than that now. Okay, so it says in Revelation 16 and 12, it says that the Euphrates was dried up so that, the kings of the east might be prepared. All right? So there you have it right there. Euphrates River dried up. See? So the Lord is doing this thing, man. When you think the Lord ain't moving, you better believe that the Lord is He's doing what he got to do. So go on, bro.
Yeah. So I'm reading on verse 19. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt.
Right, that's talking about those dog fighters. What you could do, you could go down a verse. Let me see something. There's a verse that goes into World War III in Revelation 9.
It means one verse past. One verse past.
Yeah, start from there. There's an actual verse Well, you can start from there, but because it goes into it goes out of World War II. I think we start with start with verse 18.
By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths.
Right, so when you check it out, the third part of men, because you have three types of men. Okay, you got the sons of the righteous, and you have also the sons of men, which are the other nations. Okay, and you have the sons of the wicked. So there goes your three types of men. But the third part of men are the wicked. So that's got to be talking about the Edomites. Okay, that they would be destroyed. Go on.
For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt.
That's it. So go on.
And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood.
And that's showing you right there that even before this war, you're still gonna have people alive. People are still gonna be, running to and fro, walking to and fro, what have you, are all on the earth.
Yeah.
And you know too, those people that are actually remaining in that war, or so like that are remaining on the earth after the war. Guess what? Now if they're of a different nation, we turn this around now. So all of these other nations that remain alive, these nations now, they're gonna go right into captivity under the Israelites. And it's gonna start by them being pretty much taking up the dead bodies, man. Yeah, brother's gonna have to sort that sign out, man. You know what I'm saying? So get me Ezekiel 39. They shall seek out men of continual employment. And the next superpower is Jacob. I think it's let's see.
7 months, right?
That's the one right there. Yeah. I think we start from yeah. That's the perfect one.
Prophet Ezekiel 39 verse 12. In 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land.
Now it says that the house of Israel shall be burying them, but it's not actually talking about the Israelites doing that job. No, the other nations are going to do that job. It's going to go into it. Go on.
Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them.
Because it tells you in the law that an Israelite is not supposed to pretty much deal with a dead carcass. Go on.
And it shall be to them a renown, the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord God. And they shall sever out men of continual employment.
Right, continuing employment. What are they going to be doing? Going?
Passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth.
Right, those, right. Then we just read in Revelation 9 that after these plagues were brought on the earth, they didn't repent of their ways. Then we just bring that out. So these same individuals, they're going to be rounded up and they're going to be our slaves, man. And they're going to cleanse the earth by the dead carcasses. Okay, by the dead carcasses. They're going to pick up the dead carcasses, put them where they need to put them. All right, and after that, they're going to build the altars. They're going to build the kingdom. He's on drugs.
Yo.
Just have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
Yo, stay into the camp. The sheep is
touching. Okay, man.
Just move her along, man.
One time I'm not going near anything like that, bro.
Just have a nice day, man. Have a nice day, man. Get out of here, man. I tell you what, we're gonna curse this thing out.
Don't fear the demon. Don't fear the demon.
Shalak, Ryan, we're not some more Bajam.
Alright, let me get the curses out.
Wow, rug my water, mash
Hey, you can't drink that water again, huh?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just get out of here, man. Go, man. Get out of here, man. Just get out of here, man. Okay, get out of here, man. Alright, get out of here. Just go,
Move, man. Just move right away, man. Just move right away.
Fucking that, man. I'll take you, man. Let's roll in the spirit. Let's keep you, man.
Anyway.
Do the camera, let me do it.
After the end of 7 months shall they search.
Right, and you see like this, people like this, they're gonna be put to death, man. They're gonna be put to fucking death. You understand me? That's what's gonna go down. When this still goes down, people like this is gonna be put to death. Because they wanna come up here and mess about. She can stand there, I don't care. Alright? But I'm just saying right now, the Most High's gonna kill this one right here, man. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, in the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, this one's gonna be put to death, man. Okay, that would be a blessing too. Yeah, read that, bro.
Stay where you are.
And the passengers that pass through the land,
And she thought I was playing games. Yeah, you gonna die, man. You gonna be put to
then he
death.
seeth a man's bone,
Go on.
then shall he set up a sign by it to the buriers are buried in the valley of Amon God.
Right, so they're gonna be burying the bodies.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to truck this away, yeah?
Alright, man. Thanks, bro. Yeah, because you don't know what I've been at, man. Go on, bro.
That's it. And that's it.
Yeah, so they're gonna be burying the dead bodies. All these other nations that remain on the earth after this nuclear war, they're gonna be burying the bodies. And we just gonna be sit back cooling. They're gonna be doing what we told them to do. And then then after they get done doing that, what else are they gonna do? They're gonna build up cities. They're gonna build up our walls. Okay, now we're gonna go into their captivity now. Get you guys, what is it? Isaiah 60 now. That's the future. We talking about what's gonna happen in the future now. All right. The reason why this war is breaking out because the Lord is going to end this revival of ancient Roman Empire. The Lord is going to end all of this bullshit out here and establish a new world where the will of righteousness is going.
Isaiah 60 verse 1.
Stop at verse 1.
Verse 1.
Yeah.
Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee.
Right? Which is happening right now.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth.
Right, and the darkness shall cover the earth. That's happening right now. People don't know who they are. People don't know what to live for. Go on.
And gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Right, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So the glory of the men of the Lord, hey, people know who we are now. Oh, you're the Israelites. Okay, even the brothers of Great Millstone, we're now being well known. Why? Because of our due diligence. Okay, so the glory is our glory is pretty much in full effect right now.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light,
Right.
and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
That's talking about the other nations now. The Gentiles shall come to thy light. Go on.
They said, lift up thine eyes round about and
Right?
see.
Right, lift up thine eyes round about and see. Go on.
Or they gather themselves together,
Yep.
they come to thee.
Right.
Thy son shall come from far.
Right, thy son shall come from far. So you're going to have sons of these other nations that are going to come unto us and bow down. Go on.
And thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Right, and thy daughter shall be nursed at thy side. So these other nations, we're going to have their women, and they pretty much going to have to take care of our kids too. Okay? 60 verse 4. Yep, go on.
Lift up thine eyes round about and see, or they gather themselves together.
Right, so when we look around, right, we're going to see a gazillion amount of people coming towards us just so they can serve us. Because they're going to see the light, they're going to see the glory of our people. Starting with the elect. So these other nations, they're going to have to shut down their pride and admit the fact that, look, we're the people of God, man. And it's going to be well known pursuant to, what is it? I believe it's Jeremiah 3, where it speaks about how he will be likened unto the throne of God. That's going to happen to the Israelites. Go on.
Or they that gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy son shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Go on.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto
Now
thee.
that's metaphorical. The abundance of the sea is referring to the people. Let's get that in Revelation 17. You know what I want.
Are you Trevor Judah, sir?
Right.
All of you, yeah?
Not all of us, it's different tribes. I'm Judah.
You Judah?
You going?
Revelation 17,
You know why you can't be Judah?
verse 18.
I
And
tell
the
him why you
woman,
can't be Judah, yeah?
Why
and
is
the
that?
woman,
Because he has Edomite in him.
No,
He does have Edomite in him.
He can't be.
Because he's light skinned. He has to have something Edomite in
He's a
him.
Benjamin. He's a
He has to have Edomite in him.
Yo,
You got corrected. Go on.
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city. No, that's the wrong one.
But in a way, I'll put this out there too, because guess what? You do have the kingdom of Judah. Okay, and the kingdom of Judah is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right? Go on.
And I don't know why you put Latin Americans in it, because they're
And he said
Catholic.
unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth,
I'm gonna test something
are
with you. Watch, I'm
peoples
gonna test you.
and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Right, so there you have it. The rivers are talking about the people. So now we're going to rerun back to Jeremiah 60. Isaiah 60.
What? I'm gonna give you something in a minute.
Okay?
You can't be Judah though, sir.
Okay,
You
Isaiah
have
60.
Edomite in you. You're light skinned. I can listen to them because you know what I mean? You're light skinned. You have Edomite in you.
He's not no
You know
Edomite.
what I mean? He's laughing. He knows it's the truth.
Isaiah 60.
60
He knows
verse
it's the
5.
truth.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and
His
thine
mom-
heart shall fear and
Why
be
not?
enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee.
So then we just read in Revelation 17, it says the abundance of the waters, right? The waters represent the people. So the people, or all of these other nations, let's turn this bad boy around, all of these other nations now, they're all going to be slaves under the nation of Israel. All right? I know it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. But guess what? The unbelievable happens every day.
Makes it even better when it happens, isn't it?
That's right. So that's what's going to happen. So after this nuclear war occurs, and you start seeing missiles fly around the air, hitting from place to place, there's not going to be none of this shenanigans happening never again. We're going to set the record straight. Go on.
So it said, the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
Yeah.
The multitude of camels shall cover thee.
Right.
The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah.
Right. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah. Go on.
All day from Sheba
Right.
shall
That's
come.
all of them Arabs, man. The Midianites. That's all of them Arabs. And even them Arabs, they're going to have to serve us too. It ain't just the so-called white man. The Arabs are going to serve us too. All of these
What
nations.
about the Chinese man?
They're going to serve us too.
Why not the Latin? Why not the Latin Americans?
Because they're Israelites.
Why? They're
Because they're
Israelites?
Israelites. Absolutely. Now I'm gonna deal with what you said about this guy, right?
Yeah,
Now
deal
you said
with
he was.
that.
Now you said he was light skinned, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that there's certain so-called white people that go back to the mosques? They're Israelites. Okay, so it's not about.
You're saying no white people are gonna make it. We're gonna be slaves, right?
No. I didn't say white people. We ain't saying the white people. We're saying the Edomites. Now, if you're lying, listen. If you're lying, let me do it. I'm teaching you. Okay, all right. Yeah, do what you gotta do. Yeah, so do what you got. All right. Let's see Numbers 18. Yeah. Numbers 1 and 18.
Numbers chapter 1, verse 18.
What is this about, sir?
I'm gonna have to need you to read. Just real quick. Yeah.
What is this about? Is this about the Latins?
The Israelites. This is about.
Numbers chapter 1, verse 18.
Yeah.
And they assembled all together, all the congregation together, on the first day of the second month.
You're going.
And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their
Right.
fathers.
So you're all determined by the house of your father.
Okay, so if he's from, you know, like his granddad, yeah? For instance, or the great granddad.
How do you know that for sure? How do you know
So
that?
how do you know it?
How do you know that for sure?
So how can you accept
I can
him?
say the same thing to you.
How can you
I can
accept
say the
him
same thing
if
to
you
you.
don't know for sure?
How do you know that his father's a so-called white man?
You messed up.
How do you know that?
How can
No, you
accept
messed
him?
up because
you don't know for sure.
You
don't
posed
know
the
for
question
sure.
to me. No,
You
you're
don't
not
know
sure,
for
my man.
You don't know
And you
for
say you
sure.
don't
Hey,
repent.
say, we're gonna give you
And
an
you know
answer.
you don't repent, you're going to be destroyed, man.
Come, we're going on.
So I don't need.
The Lord is going to destroy you anyway. You can have a nice day. Go on.
No, you can't. Trust
All right.
me, it don't make sense. You
No,
don't
no,
know for
you
sure.
don't make sense.
You don't make.
You don't make
You don't know
sense,
for
'cause you don't
sure.
know who
Trust
his father
me.
is.
Trust me.
So you
If
don't
you
know
know
what
for sure, then so what are you doing
Have
then?
a nice day, sir.
It could be it could have been
Romans
mistaken. You're
chapter
doing
8,
it. It don't make
verse
sense.
16. The Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
Right, so they bear witness, man. He's one of us. Okay? And it don't really matter if he's light skinned. That's all bullshit, man. It all matters because of your forefathers.
oh boy.
Alright? You could be a so-called white person, but you could be of the line of Israel. Alright, so you got this guy talking about light skin, this, whatever. It's all about the forefathers. Your forefathers go back to the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And guess what? You were Israelite, man.
Yep.
Okay, it ain't got nothing to do with that.
Everybody.
Read that verse again. Read that again. Don't come with that everybody stuff, man. I ain't trying to hear that.
Everybody, I'm asking you a question, brother.
Oh, my bad. Okay, what you saying? What you saying?
I'm asking you a question. Is everybody an Israelite?
No. What you have
That's
is
what you just said.
Right. No, I thought you were saying everybody.
Why did he trying to run all the time?
I don't know, man. They're Edomites, man.
I don't know, man. But you know, though, my bad, because I didn't even hear him out. I should have heard what he had to say. So that's my bad.
Yeah, but if he yeah, exactly. He didn't have the patience to wait for the answer.
Right, but what I'm saying,
Be a witness.
See this man here? He's come here to learn.
Right.
He's come here to debate. He's being respectful.
Yep.
You don't have to teach. Listen, these people that are disrespectful, leave them, man.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy right here, you know, like you were saying, brother, he's been there for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Okay, and he could stray away. But guess what? He's here to hear what we gotta say. All right.
Why? Because of what? Romans 8:16.
Yeah, and read that again.
All right. Romans 8:16.
Yeah.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
That's it. So this is why he's here. To
it.
hear the word of God, man. Whether he realized that or not, the Spirit of the Lord gotta be. Maybe it's for his benefit. Okay, so it don't matter it don't matter about your skin tone, man. That's all. That's just the physical. The Lord said, he said, I look not in the outward appearance of man, but the inner man. Okay, that's scripture for your eyes.
That's right.
All right.
But you know,
You got these Israelite groups out there. You know, a guy like this guy right here, he'll come up to ISUK and they'll curse him out. They'll say, oh, you're the devil. You can't do that, man. You got people that look like this guy right here. That's going to be saved.
Try the spirit.
That's why you got to try the spirit. And if he's if he's meant to be saved, no matter what nobody say, he's going to be saved.
That's right.
Okay, that's the bottom line, man.
That's right, man. Jeremiah 12:9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
Right.
The birds round about her are against her.
Right.
And that's a good example.
It's gonna cut. It's gonna cut any minute now. I'm gonna have to change the battery, but it's all right. Carry on.
But yeah, when the brother Owen said that it's about the spirit, look at Ryan Giggs, man. When he went to Sierra Leone for UNICEF, when he was in that Sierra Leone village with the kids, he didn't look like a white man who's feeling awkward. He was clapping and singing with them, and he said, my great-grandfather was from Sierra Leone.
See? And he's proud of seeing it.
Yeah, and it's on his father's side. Then his grandfather's black, then his father was black, but his mum was white.
Right.
So because he came out looking not white, does it mean he's not Israelite?
No, that doesn't make sense. Right. Right. See?
When they mix with the countries around them, only the creator of the universe knows which spirit the baby belongs to.
Right. He said it. They know what spirit the baby belongs to. It's just all about the spirit.
That's right.
Okay, it ain't about the way you look, man.
Yeah.
Okay, now it does have something to do the way you look to a certain degree, but ultimately it's about the spirit, man. Okay, and that's what these guys don't understand.
Can I just mention about King David? How he's, every brothers break down that he's ruddy and would be compared to a so-called light-skinned person today, yeah? Ruddy. So just because you're light-skinned, it doesn't mean that you're Edomite, what that guy was saying before.
That's a simple thing. And you know what too, he's an Israelite too.
Right.
You can tell he was an Israelite.
He's a Jake.
He's a Jake. But he's all bugged out, man. Because he's simple. Jake is simple, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our people are simple.
Yeah.
Go on.
Simple nigga, yeah. My heritage is upon me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her.
Right, the birds round about her against her. The birds was referred to the other nations.
That's right.
Okay? So that's how you break that down, man. But
They obeyed the law before they got the law, because in Egypt they kept themselves to themselves. All those descendants all kept to themselves. But after they received the law and entered into the promised land, they then went against the law, and mixed with the nations around them. This is against the law.
And they worship their other gods too. So that's how they mixed around. It's like Solomon. Now, because see what you can do right now, the other nations, the Israelite man, he could deal with the other nations, but not to marry into them. You can use them as concubines. That's if you wanted to do that. But what our people did is they literally fell in love with the women of the other nations and started adopting their customs and actually having children with them. Okay, and that's what got them all messed up. You understand? And being that we're scattered abroad, you're gonna have our people looking like this guy. Okay, you're gonna have our people looking like Hamas. You're gonna have our people looking like the Chinese. Why? Because we're scattered abroad now. Alright? So if there's a guy that looks like a Chinese dude, okay, or a Moabite, let me get it correct, a Moabite, and he receives the word and he can understand what we're saying, which even your average person can't understand what we're saying. And if he's able to understand the word, then he can get a whip for the salvation. Okay, go on.
So that's like I've done that one.
Yeah, it's all right.
In Nehemiah, when Nehemiah was complaining about the Israelites marrying other women, I think it's Nehemiah.
Yeah, it was Nehemiah. He's the one that used to pluck out their hair, yeah, and attack them, yeah, and beat them up.
Nehemiah 13, I'm trying to find it. I think it's 13.
Okay, brother.
Could it be verse 10?
Verse 10. See, there's one way it says I'll put hands on you. I think it's here actually. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Got it, right?
Yeah.
Verse?
I think it's 20. Start from 23.
Okay, yeah, you got it written down as well. You got it.
Alright, Nehemiah chapter, and he's right, because when you lie with a woman and she's not of your same nation, and she might have a different religion, belief system, you know they say when married, two become one. Sometimes that's what happened. The Israelites, they would marry a heathen and they would adopt their customs rather than keeping the customs in the Bible. So you're right. And our people are doing that today.
You see, that is the manuscript that has been given to this country. Then, in terms of Abraham, was a Hittite and a Shittite.
Yeah.
His father was a Hittite.
Yeah.
His brother was a Shittite.
We've got the Israeli woman here. She wants to speak to you guys.
Hello. I come in peace.
That means
Have you
there's a sword somewhere.
Have you got peace in your heart? Have you got peace in your heart? I come in peace. Have you got peace in your heart? No answer. Am I talking to people?
Someone's talking, if you don't mind.
By the way, are you married?
I was.
I know.
Yeah,
I've got the
Already
children
had a manuscript.
to prove.
Yeah.
They are given to them.
Yeah, I'm just going to catch a bus 63. When it comes, I go.
In terms of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when they went to Egypt,
I've got no problem
they had
with
another
my
manuscript. See?
I have no problem
They
with
lived
my
by that manuscript until Moses took them out.
Oh yeah, I know
And
what you're
then
talking
they
about.
received another manuscript.
Yeah, the
See what I
commandments.
mean?
Yeah.
But you know what happened as well? Because during the time of Joshua, I think it was Joshua, he went down to ancient Egypt because of there was a famine, so he revitalized Egypt. And basically, prior before Egypt, there was no laws. Because the thing with the laws were within the man, within the mindset of man at the time. So it was oral, you know what I'm saying? But what Moses did, Moses pretty much gave the law and put the law in the physical realm. Okay, he put it in physical, in writing. Not Moses himself, but the Most High. The Most High, he went to Mount Sinai, and the Most High pretty much wrote the laws or put the laws down on the tablets. And now we can look to those laws and follow those laws.
That's it. And if we followed them, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in now.
You see, Joshua, after 40 years going round the wilderness, the creator of the universe went through Joshua to say to the children, because all the parents were dead, you have a choice today, because it's really difficult to obey the Ten Commandments. You can either go back to the old manuscript and worship the Creator Universe that way, or you can worship the Creator Universe the way Moses taught you. And all the children agreed to worship the Creator Universe through the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, for the commandment. Because you know what they said? They said all that the Lord said they shall do. So
They said there's no other creator of the universe than the Creator of the universe.
that's right. That's right. So we had the laws,